And I love videos like this. Loki wanted to watch it yesterday or the day I found it, but I didn't. So we're gonna watch it now. If you don't want to watch it, bye. Have a great time.
I have no doubt that you're capable of making me look like an idiot regardless of what I say today.
Where's this gonna be?
YouTube.
Do you think professors look at YouTube videos?
No.
Do you ever meet students who are unethical?
Sure.
Get a partner now. There's no one here. The dating is horrible. Don't do it.
The dating, the dating's bad.
And MBA can be very helpful for that. It's not a degree for everybody.
Y'all know anybody who's went to a business school? I do. I know several people that went to a business school, and they are all more or less the same person.
There are too many MBAs being produced.
Today I woke up at 8 a.m., went to the gym until 9 a.m., took a shower.
Like quick, but also sad lovemaking.
Because I was crying like every week.
By the way, your apartment looks like a hotel where someone goes to kill themselves, but just saying.
Why would you say
You're
that?
probably wondering why Fred Mode over here just made fun of what I thought was an immaculately decorated apartment. But to
Okay, immaculately is crazy. You ain't got no decorations or accessories on your wall. But like saying that that's somewhere where you go to kill yourself. I mean, honestly, now that I'm really looking at it, that does not scream that I love life. It screams that I'm just here passing through until the next thing happens.
explain that, one has to traverse the long road back to the start of today's investigation, which took us deep into the mysterious breeding ground where the next generation of business leaders are harvested. A dark rabbit hole where corporate
Bro,
larvae
that's business professionals, bro. That's business professionals. Business professionals? That's business majors, bro. Business majors are just like that.
retreat to undergo metamorphosis. I'm talking, of course, about business school.
Show me something, Dan.
The Masters in Business Administration, or MBA, has been the most popular graduate degree in America since 2010. Roughly 250,000 people are enrolled in MBA programs worldwide,
Makes
with
sense.
over
There's plenty.
150,000
I
here
know
in
so
the
many
US.
people that are in
However,
the
only a
MBA.
tiny fraction of those students are enrolled in so-called top-tier MBA programs, stemming from universities like Harvard, Northwestern, Duke, and other stickers on the back of the Jeep Grand Cherokee that just cut you off. And yet, despite these programs' prestige, some critics wonder if the degree is too expensive, too exclusive, or just plain overrated. So what's
It
up
is.
with business school? I spoke to students, experts, and exactly
A black
two
woman.
bald men to investigate as thoroughly as I could. Our investigation began at the Darden School of Business in Charlottesville, Virginia, where I spoke with students to try to better understand life inside an MBA program.
MBAs, what do we think of them?
Interesting bunch.
How'd you end up here?
I was having a good time at my old job, but decided that I wanted to do something different. And business school seemed like the best and most expensive way to do it.
Why get an MBA?
I think it
Bro,
helps
go to
you
college for
understand
engineering.
all of the facets of running a business.
You want something
see
interesting that's
multiple
gonna keep you
people's
up at night.
perspectives, like accounting.
Nah, matter of fact, you want something that's interesting and gonna keep you up at night? Stressed? Doing engineering, bro. Doing engineering. Doing engineering discipline, bro. Try and do chemical, aerospace, nuclear. I don't think nuclear is that hard in comparison to most others. Rocket. No. Point is, engineering is hard as fuck. Demo, I will ban you.
Or legal or marketing.
And why is it necessary to know marketing's perspective? They're stupid. Has it ever happened where you hadn't done the reading and you were called on?
No.
Real.
Do you read the cases every time?
I do not.
The average
No, bro, I took a business class, bro. I took a business class in like the middle of all my engineering classes, bro. Easiest shit in the fucking world. Tyler, I hope you don't see this. Tyler, I hope you don't see this, because this might go on TikTok. Easiest shit in the fucking world, bro. I slept through that class. Like, I thought I didn't study for the class. I didn't even buy the book. Well, really, I haven't bought a book in like years. Yes, I have. I've bought plenty of books, but like I didn't even get the book for this class because I didn't think I was gonna need it, and I'm kind of upset that I was right. Like this was like taking a 12th grade high schooler's class, bro. It was simple.
Students, I think there are two kinds. You know, like people who went to prep school and who feel like they've always been the cool kids, but are really not the cool kids. You have that as like the average students. And then the other end is people who are actually cool kids, but don't think they're cool kids.
Maybe if there's a prep kid standing right next to you, you would say, no, I actually think he's very cool.
I would be frank to say no.
Okay. What's more useful to know for a life in business, ethics or golfing?
Golfing.
Oh, that's like a really hard question, actually. Probably golfing.
Today I woke
See?
up at
What'd I
8
tell you?
a.m., went to the gym until 9 a.m., took a shower, grabbed coffee at Darden, went to class. It started 10. I was late as usual, 10:10. 10 minutes late. I just came back from classes. I was gonna change clothes, go to play tennis.
It's basically Darden Friday.
Okay, to be fair to him, that's not a business thing. That's just a college thing. Like, if I had $1 for every class I showed up late to or didn't show up at all, I'm sure it happens more in business majors, but that's not a business thing. That's just a college thing. What do you mean, bro? Wait a minute. Let me hear him out right.
Started 10. I was late as usual. 8 a.m. Went to the gym until 9 a.m. Took a shower. Grabbed coffee at Darden. Went to class. It started 10. I was late as usual. 10:10. 10 minutes late. I just came back from classes. I was gonna change clothes, go to play tennis.
It's basically Darden Friday, so
That doesn't mean he only has one. All he just had was 2 hours. Bro, you don't have all your classes set to like the later half of the day? Because that's what I do. And did. All of my classes were set like in the later half of the day. I never had a class before like 9:30 if I could help it. I never had a class before 9:30 if I could help it. Like, I made sure each and every morning that I was able to wake up at the ass crack of dawn only if I felt like it. Like I said, bro, that's not a business thing. That's just a college thing. Yeah, but it's just not. Wait, hold on.
Just came back. I was late as usual. 10:10. Grabbed coffee. 10 minutes late.
Okay, so he showed up at 10:10. His class started at 10. Let's assume it was 2 hours long. It's 12 o'clock. He has to go change clothes. So he's probably going to go to the tennis place at like around 12:30, be there for like an hour, 1 o'clock. Yeah, bro, he could definitely have another like 2 classes that day. He could definitely have like another 2 Now, does he? Probably not.
I just came back from classes. I was gonna change clothes, go to play tennis.
It's basically Darden Friday, so it's Thursday, so I'm done for the week. I'm heading out to the West Coast for a concert.
What concert is this?
It's a Coldplay concert.
It was beginning
Coldplay
to
is
sound
insane.
like business school was the absolute tits. The only problem was that one extremely boring thing kept coming up.
What industry did you work in prior to your MBA?
Now, one thing I will say, I don't see how his itinerary would fit here. One thing I will say, there's a very low account of studying here. Like, this nigga went to the gym and is now finna go to tennis. He ain't studied once. Now, that's not to say that business majors don't study, because one of my best friends in the world studied his ass off for his degree. I do not want to say that he did not earn his degree just like how every other nigga can. Well, can we watch it now? You can get on your phone and you can watch it without my reaction and documentary.
Consulting.
And
yes, I said documentary. Fuck you.
Consulting.
Now, what are you hoping to get out of this MBA program?
Hopefully a job in consulting.
I would be going into consulting.
What clubs are you a part of?
One is a consulting club, and the second one is a community consultants of Darden.
So I'm going into consulting, but specifically for
What do consultants actually do? Wait a minute. Fuck. Oh, fuck. Nah, fuck that.
nonprofits and philanthropists.
What industry did you work in prior to Darden?
I was doing consulting before.
Got it. And are you hoping to enter consulting after the MBA program?
Yeah, different type of consulting. I used to do financial services consulting, and now I will do strategy consulting.
Mark, what did you do before business school?
I was a consultant.
And what do you hope to do after business school?
Definitely not consulting.
Finally, some diversity. Thanks, Mark. But I had to know, what was it about business school that prepared these people for a world in consulting?
What were some of the skills that you learned during your time here at Darden that you think are going to be applicable to this new job in consulting?
Being able to say something that sounds like you know what you're doing when maybe you don't.
Part of this is
So
learning
faking
how
it
to
until
give
you
an
make it.
answer, even if you know a quarter of the answer.
We'll never give a definitive answer because
So faking it until you make it. Nigga, I do that every day. I do that all the time. That's called being fucking human. What?
Industries like tech and finance are often what these MB baddies are aiming for. But the reality of tossing back Sauv Blanc at a Deloitte networking event is often less glamorous than one might think.
What was the recruiting process like for consulting? We've heard that it's very fun.
Fun is relative.
So basically they'll come and they'll go to a winery and then you stand in a circle and then you try to talk to one person even though there's 10 or 15 of you, and you try to get in one question and make an impression, and then you send a bunch of emails and have coffee chats.
Darkest time of my life.
Why?
You say the same thing each time, and you have to do literally 100 if you're recruiting investment banking. You say, hi, I'm Kiana from the Philippines. The reason why I did an MBA was this. The reason why I wanted to go into investment banking is this. And I love your bank because of this. And it's the exact same thing at each point. Now imagine doing that 100 times.
No, thank you. It takes
sounds
a
like
lot
you're just
weirder
applying.
stuff than that to get me off. It was at this point that I realized talking to these silver-tongued consultant hopefuls wasn't going to get me anywhere. I needed to go straight to the top. Instead of talking to the people who learned the lessons at business school, I was going to meet the ones who teach them.
Beautiful day out.
Business school professors. I don't know any myself, so I googled famous business school professors and found this guy.
What's the point of business school?
Is that a genuine
Is that
question?
Key and Peele? The secret is giving the secret to getting a board?
Yeah?
I have a theory of ties. When you realize they're a symbol of authority, and then you realize where they point, you have to see them as decorative.
And what happens if they're looking like this? Is that?
Well, I don't know what it says about what they're pointing to.
Adam Grant is a New York Times bestselling author, organizational psychologist, serial TED Talker, former magician, and current professor at the University of Pennsylvania's Wharton School of...
What the fuck about his previous statement makes him a professor? Unless he's teaching psychology or magic. What here says that, oh yeah, he could teach business? Let's let this nigga teach little niggas about business.
Of business. And Ed Freeman is a professor at Darton who I think just made a dick joke.
I think the point of business school is to teach people to be better at running businesses, maybe. And by better, I mean both more effective and also more responsible.
Back in the day, I would say the focus of the MBA was on how to make money. I come along and I teach ethics, and that's a very small piece of it. Now, it's a much bigger part of the MBA.
How have you seen business school evolve?
I think in the wake of the 2008 financial crisis, we actually saw far fewer bankers show up here. And we also saw fewer students want to become bankers. That means we have probably a few more consultants.
Consulting.
Also a lot more students going into tech and entrepreneurship, but also a lot more public service, which I think has enriched the classroom a ton.
You mentioned it would be good to see less bankers, correct?
I don't know that I want fewer bankers. I would like more bankers who are trying to figure out how to build a financial system that serves people, as opposed to just saying, all right, I want to become a banker and maximize my own income. I've had students.
But that's the whole point of this shit, bro. Like, very few people go to college to better other people's lives. Like, let's be honest. That might be a part of it. I'm not saying that there aren't people out there that are studying right now because they don't want to better people's lives. But like, let's be honest. You take away the fact that there is a higher chance of them making a lot of money if they get that piece of paper at the end of the 4, 5, 6 years. A lot of them aren't going to college anymore. A lot of them aren't doing this. So of course, niggas like business majors, which are notorious for this, of course they're going to be like, yeah, I'm making this bank, but I'm doing this for me. If this benefits you as well, congrats, but I'm mainly doing this to line my... Like, that's literally the American way.
Walk into my office and say, my goal is to become as rich as humanly possible. Can you give me advice about how to do that?
That's literally the point of, like, the majority of people that go to college. Like, very few people go to college because they're trying to better other people's lives. Or, like, that's the main reason why. That's very few people. A lot of, like, even people in medicine, like, a very small percentage of people in medicine go into medicine because they actually enjoy helping people. You take away that monetary prize at the end, a lot of people are dropping out. If doctors got paid the same amount of money that teachers do, I'm not saying that we wouldn't have doctors. We still would. We absolutely would still have doctors. But like a lot of niggas would not become doctors anymore.
Why is ethics necessary in business?
There's this old story of business. That business is just about the money. It's just about money for shareholders. I tell people I teach business ethics. You know what they say. I didn't know business had any. 2 words. You put them together, oxymoron, like jumbo shrimp. Funny YouTube channel, I don't know. You know,
the typical person who should be applying to business school, who do you think that is?
So I think a lot of the people who do apply are basically career enhancers. They both want to improve their credentials and also gain knowledge and build their networks to try to accelerate wherever they're climbing. I think business school is actually better for career switchers than career enhancers. Business school is a great way to reevaluate your options and spend 2 years learning, hopefully, and getting to know new people and then being able to pivot after that.
The makeup of a business school class today, how has that changed?
Well, I would say when I first started, it's mostly white guys. I could never keep them all
Makes
straight.
sense.
They were all named Jim or Chip or an occasional Hiroshi. And now we have students from 35 countries or more.
I think when I got here, the class was hovering.
I don't know. He said that kind of racist.
35 countries or more.
He said that kind of racist. That felt racist.
I think when I got here, the class was.
Wait, this guy's face?
Hovering
Why?
around 40% women for MBAs, and we hit 50% a few years ago and have maintained that ever since. So frankly, that was long over.
Business school is a break for posers. Instead of actually doing nothing, they pay to seem like they do something. Yeah. Because honestly, as I'm listening to this, bro, like business schools and niggas that go to like a 4-year degree to get an actual business degree are not the same nigga. They're not the same nigga at all. Like, I'm sure if I got Tyler to watch this video, which I'm okay saying his name, there's like a billion fucking Tylers. I'm sure if I got Tyler to watch this video, bro, he would look at me like, what the fuck are these people? Because when I tell you Tyler was ripping and running, now I'm not going to say his classes was as hard as mine, because he openly admitted that his classes weren't as hard as mine. But that nigga was in the books, boy. I can't remember the last time I ever saw him without a book. When we was in college.
I can't believe it took us that long. So we have more women. I guess by definition that means fewer men.
And that's a crisis.
For whom?
You gonna back me up here?
I definitely don't think that's a crisis.
Right. That's what I meant.
After chopping it up with the boys, I was feeling optimistic about the state of business school. But over the course of our investigation, reports were beginning to pile up, indicating that the momentum of top MBA programs might be coming to a halt. Jeff Pfeffer, a professor at Stanford's Graduate School of Business,
That is not his name. Jeff Pfeffer?
saw something like this slow down over 20 years ago when he and Christina Fong published their article, The End of Business Schools. So we decided to fuck up some commas on Morning Brew's travel budget and meet Jeff at his house near Stanford University in California.
Well, the state of business education is problematic. There are too many MBAs being produced. If you were a university and you looked around 20 or 30 or 40 years ago and saw the growth of MBA education and saw the MBA tuition is higher than the university tuition, you would say, this is a booming business. I can make a lot of money. And so you'd start business schools. And so there was a proliferation of the start of business schools. And so the market overshot. Unless you go to a top 5 or top 10 school, you're not going to get much.
You don't think it's not worth it?
The difference between the students who go to the very elite business schools and the others is the difference in the placement is huge and gotten bigger. You need to go to top.
So really, you're not paying for the education or the information. You're paying for the name. It's just like clothing. You're not paying for like the utility, the longevity. You're paying $1 million because it says Gucci on the side.
It's probably not worth the investment.
So Jeff says there's so many MBA programs now.
Like, that's the thing. Because like with the medical or engineering or like science or help math, fucking psychology, with degrees like that, right? Like, yes, it does matter where you get it from. You can't just get it from like any old flimsy school out of waterfuck nowhere. But like at least then you get like hard skills. You get like hard skills that can help translate into real world experience. If you go to a business school for 2 years and just become a yap professor, a professor yapper, a professional yapper, congrats. You can do something that everybody else can do slightly better and slightly more annoyingly. Like what did we gain from that?
Only really worth it if you go to one of the best ones, where you still stand a good chance of landing an elite corporate job. Scott Galloway, a media personality and professor at NYU Stern, told us more about the relationship between elite MBA programs and the companies that hire their students. Also, I'm realizing he looks like an exact combination of 2 other men from this very video.
By the way, your apartment,
wow.
your apartment looks like a hotel where someone goes to kill themselves, but just saying.
What the fuck?
The admissions department is really the core competence of an elite school, because what they say to corporations is, we've screened 2,000 applicants. We force them to interview, take tests, get letters of recommendation. We run a credit score on them, for God's sakes. So we're basically a giant HR department that corporations will pay a huge premium to get our pre-screened candidates. And the customer in a business school is not the student. The student's the product. The customer is the corporation who's willing to pay an individual substantially more with that certification than they would pay that person pre-certification.
So what's going on with business school? We got people trying to change careers, enhance careers, take a break from the grind, and chill out for a couple of years. People consuming inordinate amounts of coffee while making small talk with KPMG employees. We got every flavor of consulting. We got people moving across the world to attend, and we got tons of people competing to get into a small group of elite programs. And if that all sounds gravy, then by golly, business school is right for you.
Do you think that we should pursue an MBA?
No, you guys are hopeless.
Just maybe not for me.
I don't know, bro. Y'all think I could make it as an MBA? As an MBA? Y'all think I can get an MBA? Is there any more left? Is there any more left? Oh, no, that's just a... Okay, cool. Y'all think I can get an MBA, bro? I think I could. I think I could get, like... If it's taking them 2 years, I think I can get it in 6 months. No pressure. No pressure whatsoever. Especially since they have all that time during the day to just not do anything. Oh yeah, I think I can get it in 6 months. 6 months easy.